Hi, Tim here again. This is our sauna, the back of our sauna, and this is quite an old apple tree. It's been here for a long time. I thought today I would, because the theme of these talks is God and the soul, I thought I would just talk about God and the soul. So, God is our Father. You could say our mother. God is our perfect parent. God is an entity. God is not an energy. And I know this because if I imagine that I'm praying to an entity, I can feel something coming into me, or I can feel something around me or in me. If I pray to what I imagine is an energy, I get nothing at all. So that's one way to know that God is an entity. Now God is our creator. God is the creator of us. God is the creator of our world and our universe. And He's also the creator of the laws that we operate under. And I don't know many of these laws or much about any of these laws, but I do know just a little bit. And the greatest gift that God gave us, mankind, was free will. And God will never go against that will. That is a sin for God or any one of us to go against somebody else's will. Now, there's God's creation and there's man's creation, and man's creation comes from that free will. And a lot of what man creates or does goes along with God's laws or God's love. But of course, many things man does not go along with God's laws. And God does not enact a punishment towards us, towards man or woman, because of our acts that go against His laws. But there is a law that we all operate under, and we could call it the law of compensation. Anything we do, whether it's loving or unloving, is recorded on our soul, and those things which are unloving we will pay for. Anything we sow, we will reap. And it may not be, well, it will be on earth. Any unloving act, we immediately do feel, and it is, our soul does feel it, and there is a reaction, there is a compensation. Most of the time we don't recognize what that is, but it is happening. It is happening physically to our body. And generally, or lots of the times, I think that we don't fully, I would say we never fully understand the compensation that we need to pay until we have died and are in the spirit world. And we go to, there's not really a separation between heaven and hell. We go to the spirit world, and in the spirit world is a huge variance of darkness down here and lightness up here. This is where God is, and this is where we are in there. And depending on our life on earth and how many sins we've committed and how unloving we were, as to how how low we are in the spirit world. And that'll be immediately apparent by our physical condition and our darkness. Where we live could be very, very dark. So that's kind of a very simple primer on God, and from where I'm standing, from what I believe. And of course, in my talks, I will be talking about many different things about God. And the soul. Let's talk a bit about the soul. Then, I could say I am a man. I could say that, and it's basically true. On the earth, I am a man. But who am I when I die? Am I still a man? Or does the loss of my body, my man's body, mean I'm not a man anymore? When I'm in the spirit world, I will be in my spirit body, but the soul is there the whole time. The soul is here in me, in my physical body. However it's here, it's here. And it's here in my spirit body. My spirit body is here as well, and it is here. My soul is there. The soul is definitely the main thing that continues. When our physical body dies, our soul doesn't die. It continues, and it's housed then in a spirit body. And in the progression, that progression I was talking about from heaven, possibly, I don't know this, but possibly when we're at the height, we may not need a spirit body anymore, and we will just be soul. So it's not as if I have a soul. More correctly is I am a soul. And I have a physical body. And our soul is how we connect to God. Our soul is the base of our emotions and our desires. And the closer we are to our emotions, our real emotions, the closer we can be to God. And praying, to me, is getting in touch with those emotions, and anytime you do that, then you are closer to God. And the way that I pray mostly is not in words. It's not an intellectual thing to do. It's a feeling. I kind of talk myself into it, but what I want to do is feel my longing for God, feel that I want to have that connection to God. So I can say, okay, this is what I want to do, but then I feel it. I don't talk it, I don't speak it, I don't think it, I feel it. And pretty much immediately, something happens inside me. And it's not necessarily all wonderful, not saying that, but more and more it is wonderful when those feelings that I get. So that's kind of a very short description of God and our soul. And I guess one thing I want to say is the reason that I think that these topics are the most important topics, and we can certainly look at our world, and it's very easy to see problems and to be critical of it, and I can do that certainly, and I want to know what's happening in our world, in our environment, in our society. I do want to know. I do want to know the truth, or as close to the truth as I can see it. and I don't want to shy away from that. However, the answers or the things that will make those things better might come from an intellectual place. It might come from getting a great understanding, and many people do this, get a really good understanding and are in a position to make changes, and that's a great thing, certainly. However, if our soul was connected to God, or the more our soul is connected to God, the better we will do in anything we are doing. Anything. That's the thing. So, and if we are developing our soul in that way, our soul connected to God, if we are uncovering our soul, and I'll talk about this quite a bit later about how we have neglected our soul, how we have dampened our soul, how we have denied our feelings. Our feelings are our soul. When we deny those, we kind of put a lid on the soul. So it's not expressing itself. It can't be creative. So the closer we can get to uncovering that soul, and then praying to be more connected to God, the better we will do with our desires, say. I feel in my life that I have dampened down a lot and denied a lot of feelings and desires that I don't know what my desires are. And that's one reason I'm doing this, because I don't know what my desires are. I do desire to allow people to see what has happened with me in my coming to God. So that's one of my desires, and so that's one reason I'm standing here and talking. So, all right, thank you for listening, and I will see you soon.